Gary Stevens is seeing upstairs. The best view of all of them is sitting upstairs in that booth. I can tell you from being up here in this booth and being down there, there is no comparison. Half the time you can't see down there because the people standing dead in front of you.
I always wonder also when you see coaches arguing about calls at the other end of the field, what's your point of reference? Just what the heck, get in the argument just to win one the next time?
Well, I tell you what happens is one of these guys up here saw something and he'll come down and he'll prime the coach down the field. And Gary Stevens now already talking to Marino, getting things ready for the next drive.
Again, Nedney with the powerful kick. That has been his strong point.
That's why he's on this football team. He has not been as accurate as you need to be in the NFL as a place kicker, even though inside the 30-yard line he's perfect, but outside the 30-yard kicks, rather. But he kicks that ball in the end zone, and they lead the league in kicks going to or in the end zone in the National Football League. Some of them have been brought out, but this guy can get up deep.
And Sam, that is the Dolphins' 10th touchback of the season. That's a very impressive mark. So they'll start out at the 20-yard line with 35 seconds remaining in this opening quarter. Eagles with a 14-3 lead. Charlie Garner in there now for Philadelphia. And against the call, Ray Rhodes telling us the other day that he's hoping that Charlie would get more than the 2 touches that he got last week against the Giants. They would like to get him in, but it's tough when Ricky Waters is running as well as he is.
I had a chance to peek at their practice on Friday, and standing there next to Ray Rhodes, he thinks that Charlie Garner can be as good as any the running backs in the league. He's got pure speed. He's got good hands. He's a willing blocker. But when you've got a guy playing like Ricky Waters is, you just can't. There's only one football. You can't get them all the ball.
1 quarter complete. The Eagles 14, the Dolphins 3. Well, you can't do any better than this. Philadelphia Eagles in their previous 2 possessions, 2 touchdown passes, Detmer to Fryer.
The touchdowns are the main thing. They were the fact that Ty Detmer had a chance to throw the touchdowns just adds to it.
2nd and 5 as this second quarter gets underway. The intended receiver, Chris T. Jones, second-year player out of Miami, a native of West Palm Beach. In fact, a Dolphin fan growing up in that area, has not been able to get into it recently. What's been his problem?
Ray Rhodes is wondering that one himself. A year ago, he wanted him in there. He should be running an out pattern. That's where the ball's going to be thrown, but he just runs straight up the field. In fact, he doesn't look like he's part of the play. That's why he didn't play last year. That's why they're still wondering when he's going to be ready this year.
And Ty Detmer did not look pleased about the completion of that route. Now Detmer able to complete right at the marker to Mark Say, who was covered by Sean Hill. Let's see where they spot it for Say, his first catch of the day.
You know, getting back to Chris T. Jones, it doesn't take long for a quarterback to lose confidence in his receiver if he keeps running the wrong route or maybe not working to get open, running half-hearted routes. And that's where Chris T. Jones has got to come up to speed, because this guy, his nickname is Stretch. He's not pure speed. He runs just a little better than a 4.6 40, but he can go get the ball in a one-on-one situation. They need this guy to come on.
And the Eagles just shy of the first down, so the punting unit will check in as the first punt of the day for Tom Hutton. Hutton in his second year out of Tennessee, coming off an excellent rookie campaign. And O.J. McDuffie is back. Hutton looking to angle it. And here's McDuffie. And runs it out and is walloped as he crossed the 25-yard line. A flag is thrown. James Fuller making the play. A 55-yard punt and a 14-yard return.
They had this set up. They were trying to return the ball to the left. They had it set up but couldn't get him underway. Just watching the reaction of the Miami Dolphins and the reaction of Ray Rhodes, it looks like this one's going against the Eagles. You know, I think that they should start talking about keeping the players away from the officials during these conferences, because they will come out and they'll, of course, make the gesture and indicate to the crowd ahead of the formal indication of what happened. But at the same time, the officials don't need their presence. They need their space right there so they can evaluate what happened, listen to each official, explain what he saw, and then the referee will make the call. And as you can see, these guys are having one heck of a good caucus.
There were fouls by both teams on the play. Holding by the receiving team, number 40. Personal foul face mask by the kicking team, number 56. And a personal foul continuing action, unnecessary roughness by the kicking team, number 22. The penalty's offset. Replay, 4th down.
Well, the calls against James Fuller and Joe Kelly of the Eagles. Fuller called for the personal foul for the unnecessary hit out of bounds. And Irving Spikes called on the Dolphins.
Ed Hockley calling the very first one. Joe Kelly holding prior to the punt, probably, or right at the punt. And the late hit on the sideline is the one that will probably draw a little more reaction as the game goes on. This game is going to get even more competitive than it is. But anytime you have offsetting penalties, regardless of the number, you're going to go back and play the down again.
So it is a do-over, and Hutton is back to punt at his 15-yard line. It's 4th and about a yard for the Eagles. The Eagles with a 14-3 lead on the Dolphins, getting off quickly on the 2 touchdown passes from Ty Detmer to Irving Fryer. We are early in the second quarter, just a minute gone by.
Play. The fouls were post-possession. Therefore, the holding by the receiving team is declined. The personal foul face mask by the kicking team is declined by rule. The personal foul unnecessary roughness by the receiving team will be enforced from the end of the kick. Miami will retain the ball, 1st down.
So further explanation, apparently Jimmy Johnson and Ray Rhodes wanted the specifics, and it turns out it will not be a re-kick. We'll be back to further sort it out in a moment.
Has unfolded. There were offsetting penalties during the kick. You got Joe Kelly, you're going to see him hold right here. That one is called, and then down the field another penalty is called. But after the play ends, a post-possession penalty. Now watch the run. They set up the return to the left. That was not called. That was not a penalty. But coming back into play, one of the Dolphins personal fouls a Philadelphia Eagle, and so there is a 15-yard post-possession penalty after the play is over with. And Jimmy Johnson was furious during the break.
The end result, the Dolphins will start out 1st and 10 from their 17-yard line. Fred Barnett is back on the field for the second time. 14-3, Eagles leading Miami. Big hole opening up for Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Stopped by the middle linebacker James Willis.
Both teams we know wanted to run the ball. The Philadelphia Eagles have done a tremendous job of it so far in the first quarter. And the Miami Dolphins are staying with their game plan. They're not going to change now. They're just down 14-3. This is one of those situations where you've got to keep your poise, stay with your game plan, even though the temptation is maybe to go back and try to jump back in the game.
Now the Dolphins have a 2nd and 2 at the 25-yard line. Abdul-Jabbar on a slant, closing on that 1st down territory. Willis and Zorich make the stop.
Looks like it's enough for a 1st down. It'll be very close. You know, the other interesting thing that we noticed in the first quarter is both teams set up with their full drop with their quarterback. There weren't a lot of quick throws, trying to make sure the quarterback didn't have sack problems. Remember, the Eagles sacked the Giants 8 times. The Dolphins sacked the Bills 7 times just a week ago.
It is a 1st down for Miami. Now McDuffie to the right and Barnett to the left. Short set by Erickson and completes to the tight end, Troy Drayton.
Just as soon as I say they're taking full drops, they take a 3-step retreat and throw the quick one to Troy Drayton. Drayton is the newest acquisition of the Miami Dolphins, and picked up from the St. Louis Rams. just a couple of weeks ago. I almost said it, but I didn't.
Little hesitation there, Sam. Yes,
but I didn't.
After Keith Byers was released, Brayton acquired from the Rams for offensive lineman Billy Milner. He's a local product out of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Originally a second-round draft pick. Picked up 8 on that last play. 2nd and 2 at the 36. Erickson stepping up and then goes sideline, incomplete. Through the hands of Abdul-Jabbar, covered by Farmer.
You know, part of the technique of a quarterback is you go all the way back with your 5 or 7 steps and give the defensive line a landmark. You want them all the way back, plant. Now, right here's their landmark. That's where they're going to charge. Then you step up and let the offensive tackles push the defensive ends behind you. That gives you a field of vision down the field. It also tells the offensive lineman exactly what part of the turf they've got to protect. He had time to throw the ball as he has all day.
Erickson now 6 of 12, 51 yards. Dolphins have not been able to get going offensively. Off the roll. It is picked off on a deflection. Brian Dawkins with the interception. And looked like William Thomas able to get a piece of it.
There's a little bit of a discussion. Was there interference? There is never interference after the ball is tipped. You cannot interfere with a receiver at that point. That time they moved the pocket a little bit. Rather than have the landmark right behind the center, Craig Erickson rolled to his left. Tougher for a right-handed quarterback. And as you see, William Thomas reached up and tipped the ball. Stayed in the air long enough for Brian Dawkins to intercept it.
And for Dawkins, his 2nd interception of the season, the rookie out of Clemson, sets up the Eagles first down at the 26-yard line. A sweep with Waters looking to cut back inside, and then his gang tackle picked up 2 on the play. Thomas and Oliver on the stop. Look at other scores. Dallas with a 17-6 lead on Atlanta. Miami will play Dallas next week. Indianapolis 3-0 over New England early 2nd quarter. Washington with a 14-0 lead coming into today. Redskins 5-1, a full game in front of the Philadelphia Eagles. Skins have won 5 straight after losing to the Eagles on opening day. 2nd down and 8 at the 24-yard line. Detmer throwing off the roll. And a battling Mark Say refusing to go down. Buckley and Wooden make the stop.
You see Ty Detmer gaining more and more confidence. You were talking to Kevin Turner the other day. He said, boy, he got a little feisty in the huddle the other day. This is a mild-mannered kid right here. If you see him in street clothes, you don't think of him as a football player. But he just moved to his right, threw the ball quickly to Mark Say. Mark Say, by the way, playing with one kidney. Played for the San Diego Chargers before he came out here with the Eagles. Quick throw, good yardage, first down.
Sam with a little colorful bit of information here as a by the way.
Yeah, by the way, one kidney.
Yes. And here's Waters. On first down, Waters gets to the 11, stopped by the rookie Darrell Gardner.
The interception just a second ago, William Thomas reaches up and touches the ball, repaying a little bit of the favor that Mamula gave him when he picked up the fumble a week ago against the Giants and ran in for a touchdown. He tips it in the air, and Brian Dawkins is right there. There is no interference, even though Dawkins was touching the receiver because the ball was tipped.
2nd down and 7 at the 11. The running backs Waters and Turner. Detmer with the handoff to Waters. He's able to work his way inside the 10-yard line. Kevin Turner, yes, telling us the other day that Ty Detmer, usually very low-key guy, got a bit feisty, as you mentioned, in the huddle last week in the game against the Giants. He was upset and let his teammates know it, which stunned everyone. We asked Kevin, was there a little off-color language? He would not reveal that.
I think he said that a dadgummit slipped out.
Oh, no.
Yes, once again.
Blows the image.
We have a sports flash.
A 3rd down and 4 at the 8. And Detmer throwing end zone. It is intercepted. Sean Wooden, the free safety, the rookie from Notre Dame, stopping the Eagle drive. And the pass once again in the end zone intended for Irving Fryer. Dolphins take over on the interception by Philadelphia native Sean Wooden, the man who took over after Gene Atkins was released following the Seattle game. So Wooden is back